guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming with the brand new Focallure Travel palettes. These guys are right here. I initially saw these on Instagram and I was really inspired by the idea of them and just the colors that they used in the palettes. And also too, I basically became aware of the brand through watching a fellow YouTuber called Cindy Lubindi. If you haven't heard of her, I will link her channel down below for you guys to check out. She does use a lot of Focallure products on her videos, and yeah, she really inspired me to check out the brand for myself, do a little research, and yeah, basically make an order and test them out. So thanks, Cindy, for that. There goes my dollars. But hopefully it has been a really good investment. From everything that I've seen online, there is a lot of positivity surrounding this brand. So I believe they develop the brand over in California. I'm fairly confident that they do produce the products overseas, however, so do bear that in mind if you are concerned with that. Also too, that they are certified cruelty free, so I think that is also you know, really great. And on top of that as well, they are super affordable. So to give you guys an idea, when you jump onto the website, you can select what currency you'd like to view the website in. So that is of course really handy if you are, you know, not in America and you want to see what it would be in Australian dollars before you go ahead and purchase it. I do find that feature to be quite handy. And yeah, the price point is really cheap, as I was saying. So these retail for, I believe on the website, they're like $24.95 American, and then it's like reduced to like 16 something. And then you can get a further percentage off that as well. So they are one of those websites that coupon codes go nuts on them, basically. So yeah, definitely be sure to Google coupon codes for Focallure, because you'll always find some percentage off, which is obviously really handy. The other thing as well is that depending on the amount that you order, they also incorporated free shipping. So living over here in Australia, shipping can be an absolute nightmare. So the fact that I bought 4 pallets and got shipping for free, I was really pleased with that. And also, on top of that, they also included some brushes. As you can see, I did use this one today. But yeah, so they did incorporate a free set of 6 brushes. I didn't pay for these at all. They were just sort of like a free gift with purchase. And so yeah, I thought that was actually really cool. When they were delivered, these bristles are, of course they are synthetic, so they are cruelty free, but these bristles are super soft, and I used this one to apply my powder with today, and I was really quite impressed with how it worked. And again, you know, when it comes down to that price point, they are so cheap. So I thought what I would do is I would go ahead and incorporate these in the video, as well as they did come with the purchase, and I just thought that that was such a great added bonus. So yeah, I'm gonna test these out today as well for you guys. So just on price for reference, my order came to a total of $50 US, which worked out to be about the 70 buck mark over in Australia. So I didn't think that was too bad. Now, going ahead and having a deeper look at these palettes, but let's start off with this one here. So this is called Paris. Now, the idea that they took photos of the landscapes of these locations and then created the palette, the color scheme based on the colors that they could see from the actual landscape photo. So I thought that that was quite a unique way of looking at it. So this is what the Paris palette looks like. And as you can see also too, guys, it does include a nice size mirror up the top there. So pretty good, you know, for $16, or I think it works out to be about $20 Australian. Not too bad price point at all, if you ask me. Now, some of the shade names are really quite clever. So we have omelette, we have Bastille, we have macaroons, Eiffel Tower, croissant, really clever names that they've incorporated into this palette. And I really liked the color scheme of this as well. I just thought it looked beautiful. Now, one of the reasons why I really wanted to discover these palettes was because of these shades just here. So they're a really unique looking metallic, and I did swatch this one before, and what I have found is in most cases these kind of shift. They're a bit of like a duochrome almost, so they kind of shift a different color. So it has, this one here is a very deep pink base, and it has this beautiful gold shift to it. It's really quite stunning, the color, if you can see. It also, in person, it almost looks almost like lime chrome as well on top, so it's a really unique, interesting shade, I find. And I'm pretty impressed with how it swatches. It's very, very creamy to the touch. And yeah, I just think it just looks really, really quite cool in the palette. Now, looking at that in the palette and looking at that how it swatches, to me they look quite different. So again, it's that uniqueness that really did intrigue me. I just thought that is quite awesome. And the other thing to keep in mind as well, guys, is because these are cruelty free, these are not actually classified as eyeshadow palettes. They are listed as pigment palettes. So they've of course done that to protect themselves. Basically, because they are cruelty free, they're going to run a chance of staining your eyelid, depending on, so not all of the colours, but some of the colours in these palettes could potentially stain your eyelids. So do keep that in mind if you're somebody who is prone to that this may not be, you know, the palette or the brand for you. Do just keep that in mind. For me personally, it doesn't really bother me too much. I have experienced staining in the past, but it's nothing, you know, that doesn't sort of go away within a couple of days, and just use a good cleansing oil, that kind of thing, and you shouldn't really have too much of an issue with it. Also make sure you have a good priming base down as well. I find that really does help, but yeah, do just keep in mind that they can stain, and it is a pressed pigment palette, not an eyeshadow palette. Okay, moving on, we have my home country. So we've got Perth featured, which I thought was such a cool place to feature because, you know, when I think a lot of people think of Australia, they instantaneously think Sydney. So I'm really happy that they picked Perth. I actually used to live in Perth for about 4 years actually, and it is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my entire life. Absolutely love it there. So this is, of course, the colour scheme that they've used. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful greens, beautiful blues. When I look at this, it really does remind me of Perth. I think they've encapsulated this so perfectly. You know, when you're over there, the colour of the water, even the colour of the sky, it's like a different kind of blue. It is so... It's just such a beautiful, beautiful place. It's amazing. The colour of the water is like... It's crystal clear. It is the bluest of the blue. It's amazing. So yeah, I feel like they really did do a great job of encapsulating what the colours of Perth really is, or really is like. I thought they did such a good job with this palette. Again, really, really interesting formulas. So we have this one here called Opal, and as you can see, it kind of, so in the, is it going to focus? Focus. So I'm just not going to move as I talk with it. In the pan itself, it does look very, very green, sort of almost blue. But when I'm actually looking at it in person, it has such an intense purple shift to it. Like the base is so purple, it's beautiful. So I'm hoping that if by picking it up on my finger, haha, you can see, yay, this is actually working. So as you can see, it is really, really purple. It has a really, really purple base to it. So again, it's such an interesting shade to me that's sort of how it looks in the pan, almost green really. And that's actually how it swatches. Really, really unique shade. I think that's just so cool. So again, I'll just swatch it for you guys. It is a glitter, so it's a little bit on the patchy side, but that's to be expected as it is a glitter. But really, really pretty. I think that this over the top of, you know, a really deep blue eyeshadow or even a deep green eyeshadow, that would just look so stunning. So yeah, very excited to test that one out. The next one that we have is Prague. Now, I've never been to Prague. I've always wanted to go, so it is definitely on my list of places to visit. So I can't really say regarding the shade, like the shades, if it's really encapsulated Prague as an example, but just again, looking at the picture that was taken, I feel that you can definitely get a lot of the inspiration, which is of course what they've done, you know, by selecting these shades. So if you're from Prague watching, or if you visited Prague and you're watching, let me know. What do you think about the colour scheme that they went with? I'd love to know. But yeah, again, really, really beautiful, very earthy, very warm tone colors coming through here that I just absolutely love. So yeah, this, like, for me, this probably was the most, certainly not uninspiring, but I wasn't initially going to pick this up, and then, you know, when they had the deal of free shipping, I was kind of like, yeah, well, I might as well just get the set, if you know what I mean. But still, very happy to have this as a part of my collection and to test it out. And finally, and this out of them all, spoiler, is probably my most favorite one, which I know, like, we have one from Perth. Well, I have, you know, for Australia, Perth, you know what I'm saying? That should be my favorite, but it's not. This one here is the Turkey palette, and I have to tell you, like, just check these colors out. Absolutely stunning. Love these colors so much. So you have some beautiful warm tones, beautiful purples and sort of like red winey mauve colors, absolutely stunning. And then you have this guy up in the corner here. So this one is such an interesting, it's not even a shade, it's a pressed glitter. So I'm just gonna get a couple of them out on my finger to show you guys. Again, it feels so soft, like it's packed in really nicely, feels so soft to dip into. Quite a lot comes out, oh, is it gonna focus? Focus. Quite a lot comes out on your finger, and so we've got a whole bunch of different shapes. So I'm just going to pat these on the back of my hand just to see if I can show you guys. There they are there. So really, again, very unique. I've never seen anything like this incorporated into a palette before. Look at that on the side. Look how cool that looks. So again, you know, I think that it's quite innovative. I think it's very cool that they've incorporated something like this. It's definitely a risk, that's for sure, because I think that this is, you know, some people are going to look at that and go, chunky glitters, or, you know, I'm not interested in that, and others are going to look at this and be really inspired and go, yes, must have, add to cart, kind of like me. So yeah, really cool palette, and I think out of them all, this is the one that we're going to go with today. Again, as you can see, we have some duochromes happening in here as well. So yeah, definitely this one is right up my alley. So I think out of them all, this is the one that we're going to go ahead and test out. So if you guys want to see what look I can come up with using this palette, then please keep on watching. Okay, so for my eye base, I have already laid down the P. Louise base in number 2. As always, if you guys are familiar with my videos, you know that is my go-to eye primer. I absolutely love it. I did just go ahead and quickly use this brush to sort of lay down the primer a bit more because it had creased in the time that I had put it on and was talking to you guys. So sure, that would have looked great, but never mind. Also too, again, so far really enjoying the softness of this brush. So for the first shade that I want to dive into, I think I'm gonna go with Baklava, this one right here. This is the, you know what, I think when did I try, I hope I'm saying it right as well, Baklava. I had this, it's a beautiful sweet pastry dessert if you guys are unaware. I tried this for the first time a couple of years ago. A friend of mine actually made it and it was so good. I love pastry though, so there's that. And I think you have to really enjoy raisins, which, to be honest, they're not necessarily my most favorite thing in the world, but in like the way that it was all put together, oh, it was so delicious. So just going to take a little bit of that on, this doesn't have a name, but I'm just going to say it's like a blending brush. And I'm just going to start to sort of pop this slightly above my crease and work it through into my inner corner. So I have to say straight off the bat, using these brushes, they are so soft. Like they're really soft. So I'm enjoying that. It's blending out just fine, I think. Just gonna add a little bit more. Honestly, like I feel like that is such a pretty color, and it's almost like it's really soft. Like I definitely feel that if you wanted to, you know, really build this up and make it really intense, you certainly could do that. But I'm just loving how easy this has blended out and just how soft this color actually is. It's just beautiful. Loving that so much. Like that was so easy to do. It literally took me less than 2 minutes to do both eyes, and it's just beautifully blended. I think it looks great. Okay, so from there, sticking with the same brush, I'm going to dip into what I hope is Cacova. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the shade. this really beautiful warm color right here. I do just want to quickly point out I am getting a fair amount of kickback in the pan. I'm not somebody who really cares too much about that, especially if the shadow works, and this is working so far quite nicely. So I'm personally not fazed by that, but if you are somebody who is concerned by it, just letting you know that there is a bit of kickback. So I'm just going to sort of tap this in my outer corner to start with and just work out exactly where I want it to go. That is such a pretty color. Oof. All right, so I think I'm going to start to buff this out now and sort of bring it through my crease. I don't want to take it too far above. I just really want to sort of concentrate it on that outer corner and, you know, bring it back through into my natural crease line. Again, I'm not really experiencing any struggles to blend this out. I feel like it's just blending out beautifully. I'm really impressed so far, I've got to tell you. Okay, so once you have that all nice and blended out, the next one, I don't know what I want to use. I'm going to use Topeka, this one right here, this beautiful purple shade. And to start with, I am just going to take it on my finger. So just using my finger, I'm just going to start to tap this over my lid. It's probably not applying how I was expecting it to, which I'm really surprised about, because it feels so soft in the pan. And like when you put it on your lid, I just feel like it's not really picking up, which is a bit weird. All right, so I'm going to grab this flat brush from Focallure that they sent and just see if I can't pack the color on using this. Okay guys, so I have switched out brushes. So I'm currently trying to use my Sigma E55 brush, and it is just not picking up this shade at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet my brush with some MAC Fix Plus and see if that helps the situation in any way. So I'm just gonna quickly spray that. I just feel like it's not... Okay, this is not working, which is kind of annoying me, not gonna lie. I'm going to take some more on my finger, just, and see if I can't really, there we go, build this up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab some Troy, which is this shade right here. It's more of a darker purple, as you can see, really beautiful color actually. And I'm just gonna start to place this on my outer corner and sort of blend it in a little bit with my finger and see what we can make of it. Gonna take some more of the Topeka and bring that over as well. Okay, I'm not sure where this is going at the moment, but what I'm gonna do now is using again another one of the Focallure brushes that was sent. I'm going to jump into Hazelnuts, which is this really deep brown color just here. And I'm just going to take a little bit and sort of create a little bit of an eyeliner effect, I think. Just to put something on the lash band. I'm really unsure about this, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of the Cotton Palace, which is this really beautiful shade just here. It's kind of like a little duochrome. And just on my, with my finger, just going to sort of place that in the inner corner. See, that works fine, I think. Okay guys, so what I want to do now is kind of tie the lower lash line in with everything else. So just starting off with Baklava, going to just take this all the way through under my lower lash line, pretty much to the inner corner. And then over the top of that, I'm just going to take, what was this, Cacova, and just sort of blend that all together. Nothing too crazy, but just sort of, you know, to tie in the look, I think. I really needed something there. And then I'm probably going to take just a flat brush. I'm going to take my Sigma E55 brush and just take a little bit more of Cotton Place, which seems to be, again, oddly enough, applying to this brush just fine. And just add a little bit in here. Now I do have a little bit of fallout, so I'm just going to use this powder brush just to get rid of that. So from there, I'm just going to grab some of my Lit Cosmetics. This is the Liquid Glitter Base. I'm going to use the back of this Focallure brush just to get a little bit of the glitter glue on top. And I'm just going to start to place that here into my inner corner on top of where we've put the cotton candy. Oh no, sorry, the cotton palettes. And again, using the back of this brush, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some of this glitter here and just sort of strategically, if I can, place that on top of where I've just put the glue. Okay, this is looking definitely different. But yeah, I definitely wanted to try and incorporate that glitter somehow. Do be very careful because I do not think that this is necessarily eye safe. So yeah, if you have very sensitive eyes, etc., do be very, very careful because you don't want to get this glitter into your eyeballs. But yeah, so far, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I had glitter in my hair as well. Interesting. All right. So far, so good. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly jump off camera, do a little bit of eyeliner because I just feel like it needs it, and some mascara, and I will be right back with you guys to give you my final thoughts. All right. So let's get into my final thoughts regarding the collection. First up, I have to say, aesthetically, I think that the packaging is really, really nice. I really enjoy the inspiration behind these palettes. I think they did a really good job in that respect. Regarding how the shadows worked and performed, I think the mattes in this is certainly in the turkey palette, and I would suggest all of the palettes because there's no reason why they wouldn't be the same, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, the mattes in here I feel performed absolutely beautifully. I thought they worked really, really nicely. They were extremely easy to blend out. And yeah, they blended really nicely together with the other shadows that I used. So really, really happy with the mattes. The metallics in here, or specifically, so what was it, Topaki, this one here, and this one here was Troy. So these two shades for me were they were very much lackluster. They don't pick up on a brush, which is fine. There's a lot of metallics in my collection that don't pick up on a brush, and I have to use my finger. I don't have an issue with that. But when I'm using my finger and I'm not getting that pigmentation and it's not applying the way that I would like to see it apply, that bothers me. And even just looking at this now, I can sort of see that it looks like it's starting to develop a bit of hard pan already. So that's a bit of a concern to me straight off out the gate, I have to say. Cotton Palace, this shade up here, this is such a beautiful, unique shade. It's absolutely stunning. And I have it in my inner corner. It applied beautifully. I had no issues with this applying whatsoever. So I don't think it's all of the metallics. I think it's just some. Same with the Golden Horn, this one here. So this one here is a duochrome. I swatched it on the back of my hand before. It applied fine on the back of my hand. So I don't think I'd have an issue with that all over the lid. For some reason, I just sort of seemed to struggle with those two shades. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, that was my experience. Oh, and the other thing to keep in mind, as I did mention earlier before, it did have some kickback. And of course, I have this really cool glitter moment happening in my inner corner, which is definitely a bit different for me, but I don't mind it. And I think it's a really unique thing that they included in these palettes. So, you know, I'm all for brands being inventive, etc. So well done on that, I have to say. I think that's really cool. Price point, I think it is extremely affordable. Even though I did have some issues with the metallics, overall I am really, really happy with how this look turned out. I think it looks really, really nice. And I would 100% recommend these palettes to you guys. I think that, you know, for the price point, the fact that they are cruelty free, the fact that they offer free international shipping, you know, so long as you meet the order requirement, etc. Or for that, all of those is tick, tick, tick for me. I think that's really, really great. So yeah, look, when it comes to these palettes, if the price point was higher than what they are, I probably would have more of a hard time recommending them, just because I did struggle the way that I did using the metallics in this palette. but I still just can't get over the price point. I think that they are extremely reasonably priced, and the way, again, the mattes and everything else blended out really nicely. I just, overall, I had a really good time using this palette. So based on all of that, I would definitely recommend them. The brushes, I have to say, for the ones that I used, I really enjoyed them. So I think, again, having a look at this brush set online, it was really, really cheap. I read on my invoice, even though it was free, it had a value of, I think, $12.99 US. So I think for, hang on, there's the other one. For 6 brushes, that's not too shabby at all. And the quality is really nice. Yes, they're synthetic, but they're very soft, and I had absolutely no issues blending any of the shades out, especially using this one. The only one that I didn't use was this one here. So it's a more of a densely packed brush. This I could definitely see myself using for, you know, like more of detailed work, you know, cut crease, that kind of thing. Could definitely see myself using this brush for those purposes. So yeah, brushes are a big tick from me. Great price point, and they work really nicely. So yeah, you've got that to look at as well. So yeah, look guys, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this video and the look I was able to create. I'm overall really, really happy with my little Focallure experience, first time experience. So yeah, I definitely can see myself purchasing from the brand in the future, but I think for now I have enough to play with. So if you guys would like to see me do another look using one of these palettes, do leave me some comments down below. If you guys have these palettes, or if you have had experience with the Focallure brand, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. I really love to hear from you guys, as you know. And yeah, that's everything guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Mwah! I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.